I want to tell you my story, the fourth voyage of Sinbad. Pushed by my passion and curiosity to see new things, I settled my affairs and prepared a stock of goods for sale and for trade. Then I took to sea again. Unfortunately, we were overtaken by a strong gust of wind, and we took every precaution to prevent the danger that threatened us. But all was in vain. Our endeavor had no effect. Sails were torn into 1,000 pieces, and the ship was stranded. Fortunately, I got a plank and was carried by a current to a nearby island with some of my comrades, but many seamen were drowned and cargoes were lost. The next morning, we went into the island and saw some houses. As we approached the houses, we were encompassed by a great number of black men. They provided us food, and my comrades accepted happily, and they began to eat greedily. But I didn't, because I discovered that the black men themselves were not eating, and that was suspicious. After a while, my companions began to speak in nonsense. They didn't know what they were saying when they spoke to me. The black men gave us food to fatten us. They added a kind of herb to the food that could deprive people's senses. And being cannibals, their design was to fatten us and eat us as we grew fat. They did eat my comrades, but when they see my figure, then I was lean and thin because I was afraid of being eaten by them, so I refused to eat, and that saved my life. One day I got the chance to get a distance away from the houses and make my escape. However, my intention to escape was perceived by an old man. He called me to return as loud as he could. But it's impossible for me to obey his command, so I doubled my pace instead. I kept traveling for 7 days, avoiding places that seemed like being inhabited, and lived mainly on coconuts. On the 8th day, finally I saw white people who were gathering peppers together. When they saw me, they came to meet me and asked me some questions in Arabic. I was happy to hear my language and tell them what I just experienced. They were surprised that I was able to escape the cruel black men successfully. Later, we sailed to the island and met the king of the white people who were gathering peppers. But there I discovered a strange phenomenon, that they were not using bridles and stirrups. This is bridles and this is stirrups when they rode horses. So I manufactured some and presented to the king. The king was very pleased after trying them. As I paid visit to the king frequently, one day he said that he wanted to give me a bride and make me stay in his country forever. I dare not resist the king's will, so I got married with a noble and beautiful girl granted by the king. However, after a period of time, I started to miss Baghdad, my hometown, the only place that nothing can make me forget. One day, my neighbor's wife died. I went to see and comfort him. God preserve you and grant you a long life, I said. Alas, how do you think I should obtain the favor you wish me? I don't have even an hour more to live. That's his reply. And that was the first time I heard about the cruel custom on the Peace Island that once a wife or husband died, his or her spouse had to be buried together. I went to ask the king if foreigners could be an exception toward this custom. But the answer was no. And if the foreigners should also obey the law, obey the custom if they were married on the island. I went home sadly, and since then I have been very nervous every time my wife got sick or didn't feel well. However, in a little time, my fear became true. My wife got sick seriously and passed away in a few days. I begged everyone, but that was no use. They put us in a deep pit, and covered the mouth of the pit with a huge stone. And I was depressed and carefully consuming the little food I brought with me. One day I heard a strange sound that sounds like something walking. I got close to the sound, where the sound came from, and I heard something running away. I followed the sound and for a very long distance, and finally discovered a tunnel to get out. There was a light coming from outside. Then I climbed up and get out of the hole. I discovered that it was near the sea. So I sat on the shore and waiting for any ships to pass by. Finally, at about 2 to 3 days, I discovered a ship passing by, and I got their attention by waving my clothes and shouting out as loud as I could. After traveling with the ship through several harbors, I could finally get back to Baghdad, my hometown. And no matter how gorgeous other countries were, there was no place like home. Thank you.